All right, guys, I think I have time for one more video. So I want to workshop the strength series I did with you the other day because I was looking at a couple of your videos and I was noticing your movements through the shapes and through the poses, and I just wanted to clarify some things for you so that I make sure that you are getting the information in a way that is going to help you understand what we're doing and so that you can apply that as you move forward. So I'm going to try and remember the sequence. If I add a pose or take a pose out, it's okay. Just some of the fundamentals of this sequence so that you get the alignment in your body and you can practice it safely. So we started in a down dog with the right heel to the glute. We do this to create activation in the right hamstring. And then we bring the right knee. Actually, I'm going to do it on this side so you can see me better. So left heel to the glute, creating activation. Now we are going to come into hip flexion. By bringing your left knee in to the back of your left tricep, you're creating an insane amount of activation in your left hip flexor. But you're also creating activation in the back of your left leg. And that's why when you do these poses over and over again, but you're just going through emotions, you're not really paying attention to what you're activating. You're not gaining as much from the pose as you could be when you start to work through it in this system. So starting with the left knee to the tricep, you're working your obliques here, you're working your left hip flexion, hamstring engagement, protraction of the shoulders, and then we went out and kicked the leg out to the side. So my right heel drops down. That's your fallen star variation. Right arm wherever you want to put it. Left hand under your shoulder or maybe even a little bit in front of the shoulder. So from here, you're going to push into the outer edge of your left foot. Right arm is extended over that left leg, and you're going to lean, transfer your weight forward to bring your right knee to your elbow. So I'm on the knife edge of my left foot, and I'm flexing my foot to stabilize my ankle because I don't want that joint to be weak. I need strong, stable joints here. So here, working into stabilization of that left outer hip, and then with control, you're going to pull back into that fallen star. So my right heel is down. I'm not on the heel, and I'm not on the toes. The foot, the inside of the foot comes down. And then you brought the left knee to the tricep. So still, back of my foot is down. And then from there, we slip the left shin behind the right calf. And then you lean your pelvis towards the back of your mat. And you're working into the serratus and into the armpit and into a whole bunch of shit over there. And then you come forward, left knee to the elbow. And then you cross your ankle over your thigh. Same thing, you sit your hips back towards your right heel. So when I keep touching my microphone, I'm sorry if it's noisy, but when we're working in this extended position, we're challenging the body to activate in new ways, in ways that we don't normally do when we're just going through traditional yoga poses. And so we're trying to find some instability, to find activation in parts of the body that are not always activating so that you can start to create that neuromuscular pathway for activation and for patterning into your body. And so from here, work at stacking the right hip over the left hip. So don't shine your pubic bone to the ceiling. Pull your left hip back. And then you come forward again. Left knee taps the back of your triceps. Still my right foot stays down. And then you swivel into your two-pointed down dog. So the right arm is up and the left leg is up. You can choose to stay there or bring the left knee to the back of the tricep. And just notice that my right arm, it's like no one can give you a blueprint of how you should move through the sequence in an intuitive way. So much of it is a little bit of an alignment, basic things like positioning of your foot, placement of your foot, placement of your hand. But The other part of it is proprioception and understanding, again, balancing your body in space. So that's stuff we do as kids. When you go play at the playground, you're on monkey bars, you're on balancing beams, and so you're always working with instability in your movements. But as adults, we don't move in that way anymore. We sit a lot, we do our traditional yoga classes, we do the same things day after day, and moving in this way just really starts to create some body memory, muscle memory of what we used to do and what we are still capable of doing. And so when you're doing this and there's all this instability, this right arm is just working through space to help counterbalance my hips, my weight. And that is a very unique and effective way to create increased proprioception and coordination, knowing how to balance your body in space, which will ultimately help you with poses like arm balances, like inversions, like handstands, and just to create more fluidity in your practice overall. But it will also create more strength. Strength that just doesn't show up in the big muscles, like the superficial strength, but it's strength that translates into the way you do plank, the way you stabilize your core when you're moving from pose to pose. And the more you do this, the more it becomes second nature, the more it becomes a part of the way you just move your body naturally. And that ultimately translates into your hobbies. When you're playing with your kids, when you're bending down to pick up an object, it all is very interconnected and plays a big part in why we do this practice and why we show up on our mats and why we move our bodies in this way. And it also forms a big foundation of why I teach the way I teach and why I find this stuff so inspiring and so effective. So I hope that this little breakdown helped you to understand the poses, the basic alignment, but that it also gave you some freedom to simply move your body and to play, to have fun, to show up at the playground and just play without question, without doubt, without wanting to get it right or wrong, just showing up and moving your body and seeing what is in store for you today. Thank you. Namaste.